Hi, I'm Anthony Abner, founder of Return to Israel, and we have been bringing you important points of consideration regarding the proposed plan by Prime Minister Netanyahu to annex parts of the Judean lands of Judea and Samaria. Now, if pursued, annexation is going to set off a cascading of events, both positive and negative, for both Jews and Arabs, for individuals and entire communities in the regions of Judea and Samaria. So what about the Arabs? Is mainstream media that portrays the Arab opposition and loss to the Jews really telling the truth? To find out the true Palestinian Arab response on the ground in Israel and Judea and Samaria, we joined Gedaliah Blum in Samaria to bring us facts of what's taking place within the Arab communities in preparation of Israel applying sovereignty. Listen now as Gedaliah gives us the true Arab reaction, and you might be surprised of what that is and the outlook for Arabs in the future.
So with all the discussion with sovereignty applying Israeli law to this land right here, one of the things we're really not talking about is what is really the Arab reaction. Now there's been some investigative reporting that went undercover to speak to the Arabs directly to talk about what they really wanted. But you know, we don't really have to go undercover to see, because I'll give you an example. Just in the last year, one of the members of Knesset actually suggested that the Arabs in the Galil, in the north, would be actually part of the Palestinian state in exchange for the settlement blocks of Ma'ale Adumim, of Gush Etzion, of Ariel, to have a land swap, to say, okay, Palestine and Israel will have the equal amount of land of what we have now, but if we have to move borders, we'll move borders. What was the reaction of the Israeli Arabs who were then told that their town was just about to be essentially, moved to a Palestinian state? They were up in arms. They were upset, they were angry, and they said there's no chance that they will live under a Palestinian state. Instead, they prefer to live under Israeli law with the Jewish people. Another example we see, when the security fence was being planned out, there was actually an Arab village that was found on the outside of the fence, meaning they would be in Palestinian Authority land and excluded from the Israel proper land. Now what did they do? They went to the Israeli Supreme Court and they petitioned them to include their town within this fence. And you know what happened after that? The population of that town, which was now included in the fence, exploded. The Arabs want to live under Israeli rule. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to live under our rule? This is the greatest gift from God that the Arabs were ever given. They weren't given oil here. They weren't given technology. They were given nothing here except the Jewish people to come and to give them opportunity. To give them opportunity to live better. The child mortality rate is down in the Palestinian Authority. They have more water, they have more food, they have more wealth than they ever have before. And it's because Israel's here. So what do we see now? What do we really see today? We see the Palestinian leadership have only what to gain by creating this conflict and not accepting a state. Because the more they reject, the more they fight, the more the international community sees them as a victim, and the more money they get, and the more corruption there is, and the more money they're able to send into their Swiss bank accounts. Now, on the other hand, who are the real victims? The real victims are the Arab people, the Arab population, who live in these surrounding hills, who are stuck in this fear society. They're being used as pawns for the corruption under the Palestinian Authority. But what could they really have? What opportunities could they really have if annexation did take place? If Israel did apply Israeli law to this land, which included the Arabs, what could their opportunities be like? Now, this isn't theoretical. We don't have to say, well, we've never seen this before, because we have. Because we know the Israeli Arabs are living the greatest life that they could live in the Middle East, even under other Arab countries. They all want Israeli citizenship. And you know why? Because we're a free country. We don't have laws based on nationality or race, ethnic, sex, nothing. We have a Bill of Rights here, essentially, that all men are created equal, that all men and women are created in the image of God. And that's what Israel is all about. And that's why it's so important to support Ribonut. It's so important to support the annexation, the application of Israeli law in this land, which will also include Arabs. So let's not talk about 30%. Let's talk about 100%. Let's dismantle the Palestinian Authority. Let's take away the fear that these Arabs are living under so they can speak freely for the first time ever. And that's my stance, and that's my point when it comes to Ribonut, when it comes to sovereignty, when it comes to annexation, whatever you call it, applying Israeli law to this land. It's important to apply Israeli law to this land, not only for the Jewish people, but also for the Arabs.